Oh, great.
Let's go.
Okay, great. Welcome to the Trillionaire Crypto Club. I'm sitting here with Jeremy from Boston Coin and Johnny Peters. Johnny is a visionary leader at the forefront of entertainment and technology. He is a award-winning mixed reality producer, director, world builder with over 20 years of creative leadership. We're very excited to have him here. He's had a career spanning over 15 years in interactive media. Johnny has also pioneered multiple formats in mobile, tethered VR, virtual worlds, and interactive reality TV. He's raised over $12 million to launch K-Grind, a multi-channel music and sports broadband TV network. He developed red button applications for Sky TV, integrating technology and user experience, as well as winning multiple awards for his film, Lucidia, which has showcased his ability to merge storytelling, emerging technologies, and he's quite the smart cookie. Also hold a master's degree in virtual worlds, a diploma in directing, as well as a bachelor of economics. We're very excited to have him on the show today. As the CEO and founder of the Gaze Coin, Johnny continues to redefine the possibilities of immersive entertainment and interactive technology. Welcome to the show, Johnny. Did I miss anything?
No, that's the best introduction I've ever had. I didn't even know that I've done those things, and you sort of I was ticking them off, going, "Oh yeah, okay, I did that." So it's been a long time, yeah. But it's funny. It's been. I guess I've done quite a lot of things, but there's a long way to go. I think with this whole space. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And just starting off, I'm just gonna very curious on your background. What brought you into the crypto world from the media space?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Yeah, so it was 2014 till 2013 actually, and I discovered Bitcoin back then, and I thought, wow, I just thought it was the whole blockchain, platform that was powering it was very intriguing. I saw it as not, just a currency. I saw it as a technology that people could actually use to share content and to share and for decentralized transactions to occur that would solve. I saw it as a solution to a lot of problems that happen in on the web, monetization problems. So and content sharing problems, which really kind of like stops the web becoming what it could be. So I started looking into it. I came across Ethereum, which was the first kind of blockchain kind of like approach to what was going on as opposed to just a currency. And I started building a thing called the Dream Channel, which was my vision for how the world could transact in an entertainment way, in terms of like entertaining content, how content could be shared, how the content could be monetized. And the Dream Channel was kind of my vision, and it was actually the topic of my masters, which I did 2 years before. So it was kind of almost the ability now to roll forward with the vision that I thought might not be possible. So that was where it began.
Yeah, amazing. So you got into it much earlier than most. Was there a specific conversation or what was your aha moment? Did someone tip you off? Did you find the white paper? What in particular really caught your eye there?
Yeah, it was interesting. I was looking for a solution because I just written this master's about what could be, and just kind of almost blue sky, thinking that this technology would come from somewhere. So I was looking around, and I actually came across a conference company. It's a funny kind of way this worked. And this friend of mine runs a big business conference company, and I said, "Why don't you do a conference about the future of transactions and the future of the internet and the metaverse, which was a new thing?" And he came back saying, "Well, let's do a Bitcoin conference," because he'd been looking at what was going on. And I said, "Great." And he said, "And you're going to do it." So he basically hired me to put together Australia's first or second. I think there'd been one just before us, but at the time when I was putting it together, there hadn't been one. Australia's first Bitcoin conference, which was called CryptoCon, which was basically 2014, 13. I put it together. I invited all the biggest names in blockchain to come and speak, all the names that are now the kind of guys who run the show, and yeah, made some great connections back through that conference, and that was the beginning. Yeah.
Wow. So you have a natural knack to really understand things pretty early and then push the envelope. And I'd love to learn a little bit more about the Dream Channel. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? How do we get our hands on it? Tell me a little
Sure,
bit more about, what it does,
sure.
um, well as, how it's integral in your sense of what the future of media might be.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about what it was back in 2013 and then kind of what it is now. And then we'll kind of join the dots, right? Because there's a lot of things in between. 2013, 14, I was trying to produce a metaverse uh, channel, if you like, called the Dream Channel, which basically solved the problem of monetization, like I said before, and solved the problem of content sharing. So essentially, a social network, kind of like a futuristic Facebook. That was the kind of idea that used blockchain and used all these new methods, and it could just expand infinitely. That was the vision of what I started trying to build back in 2014, 15. Now, let's just jump forward to where we're at today, right? Now, today, AI is a huge part of what we're doing. And this Dream Channel has evolved from what it began to now being what is now called a Web3 AI metaverse engine. Web3 meaning blockchain, AI obviously, we know what AI is, and the two things coming together to produce a formula for doing what the Dream Channel envisioned way back when. So now today it actually allows you to not just share content, monetize content in a decentralized way using tokens. It also allows users, this is the big part of the entertainment equation, users to use AI to join this world as an AI, right? So this is the Black Mirror kind of vibe coming in here, right? And so what happens is today, the way it works is you can actually get a mobile phone. We're just testing this now. We have an app out. You can scan your face and you basically put your face, or you can change it, onto an existing AI body. And there's a whole bunch of different ones. And then you craft a personality for that AI. So it's not just a dumb avatar. So it could be essentially an alter ego version of yourself. And then you give birth to an AI alter ego that basically joins the Dream Channel. And it's like giving birth to a child, but kind of based on you. And that's your profile in this new metaverse equation. And it can do all kinds of things because it's got AI, it's got intelligence things you couldn't do if it was the traditional avatar model of games back up until now, the way everything works. So that's kind of what it is today. So it's a Web3 AI engine. The potential for it now with AI is exponential because that character, because it's smart and it learns, can actually go off and it's in a persistent world. So it goes off. So while you're asleep at night, your avatar runs around and collects content and experiences based on what you have crafted it to want, and it basically records those things, and it sends you a highlights video in the morning of what it did or what it saw, and you can choose to follow up those things. That's the entertainment channel. So the Dream Channel has now become an AI entertainment channel crafted by your alter ego, but crafting experiences that you might be interested in, which you can then rewatch. That's the new equation. So that's but there was a whole lot of steps that got to that. That's in a nutshell where it's at.
That's amazing, mate.
So
I know some of the
first, you
games that
said the
people
word
play.
metaverse.
Yes. Metaverse, yes.
Oh no, go ahead.
The metaverse was a bit of a dud, I think, for Facebook. But I'm thinking some of the games that people play where they steal cars and beat people up and rob them and things like that. Obviously, if you want to give your own face on an own AI, you might want to program it to do nice things. I just think it's extraordinary that it can go around and do things while you're sleeping with its own intelligence. That's just something I haven't heard of before.
Yeah, it's actually what it can do is one thing, but also the problem it's solving by doing those things is also something interesting as well. Games have always been, if I'm here, I'm doing it, it's happening, right? Facebook is even a bit like that. I have to reply to the messages. I have to post the content. People can then reply when I'm not there, but it's really, really a real world thing. What AI allows us to do is to have a profile in this persistent world that is always continuous and always evolving, and it's always doing things, and that's intriguing, right? Because that's social networks. When Facebook first came out, I found it very intriguing that I could wake up in the morning and have 10 new friends. I was like, wow, who are these guys? Kind of thing. So because that was very intriguing. I think that the intrigue of the web is now being returned through AI. That you can actually have this character that's doing similar things. It's making connections, making friends, doing nice things, doing bad things, whatever. But it's all kind of okay because it's a game world, and then you can watch those things in the morning and kind of like, so you're playing the game even when you're not playing the game. I think that's a solution. That's a solution. That's a solution to audience engagement, right? So audiences are so unengaged because they've got so many things to do. So what we're presenting with them here is with the thing that's always happening. So you're always playing just by joining. So that's the kind of idea. Yeah, and there are some challenges with getting that going technically, which I can go into at some point. But there's a tech stack we've been building that powers this thing, and that's made up of a number of different things, proprietary things we're having to build because they don't exist yet, and also things that are kind of almost like coming off the shelf. All these AI platforms from people like Leonardo AI, OpenAI, and all the variations of all those are all creating these tools now to create content, and they're all kind of doing the same thing. So it's taking those things as they come off the shelf, but then crafting it so it can do what we need it to do. So that's the kind of new realm of tech. You don't have to build it all yourself anymore. You can actually, it's all very open source. You can actually take tech things from that are coming along and integrate them into what you need it for. So I think we're at the forefront of that.
Yeah, love it. And for the listeners, can you talk a little bit about, you keep using the word metaverse, but are you talking just about Facebook metaverse, a different metaverse as a general term?
Yeah, it's a very, very important question, that one, because I use the term metaverse because the metaverse definition for me is the real world and the virtual world coming together. Okay, and there's only one, the entire thing, right? So the metaverse really came from books that were written about this, and they described the metaverse as one giant place. Now, I think that's the only real way to see what I call the metaverse. I think it hasn't happened yet, but it is going to happen. I think there's been letdowns about what it was because people have been trying to create their own one. I mean, Facebook tried to create their own one. You know what I mean? And that's never going to work because people need to do their own one. I need to create my one, and your one, and everyone else's one joins to create one giant one. So I see the metaverse as the integration of the web and the real world to create this adventure space where everything's joined. And I think that we'll start to see this metaverse equation start to move forward in a very positive way really soon. While that happens, AR, VR, Web3, blockchain coming together to create this space. So yeah, that's how I see metaverse. It is a dangerous word to use sometimes because people go, "Oh, it didn't work." It's a oh, you do a metaverse, so that's done. It didn't happen. Or they think metaverse is all about VR, which it's not, and that doesn't work on its own. So so there is I think the metaverse equation hasn't happened yet. I like to use the term because I think it is showing that there is life in that, and I think Web3 in particular is kind of the internet becoming a virtual world and becoming accessible to everybody. So it's just the next stage of the internet. That's how I see the metaverse.
Yeah, and then because you're such a early adopter, what do you think the timeline may be for this, second phase of the internet? Do you think it's a couple of years? It seems like there's been some attempts from Facebook and various privatized approach. Do you think we'll need an underlying technology like blockchain to really make a decentralized metaverse? What do you think the biggest constraints are, and how soon can we start, seeing that play out in real time?
Okay, and that's another great question. I see that we've got about 3 years' time. You'll start to see the metaverse equation, I'm calling it, starting to work. Now, that equation I see is made up of the mix of. I think blockchain is the key because it allows it to grow infinitely, and it allows for payments and people to flow seamlessly between all these things, which I think is very important. Without that, it's too locked off, right? So I think that's that, and people are coming to understand that now. It's taken a long time for people to really understand that blockchain is not a criminal thing. It's just the next stage of the internet, and it solves a lot of problems. A lot of people are using it. A lot of banks are using it. And they're not telling people they are, but they are. So it's a very, very technology that has lots of opportunities and problem solving potential. So but I see blockchain and AI as the two things that are going to make it work. There are some very interesting things that have happened that I think are going to underpin this metaverse creation in the last few months. There's a thing called virtuals, which I've been looking at quite closely, which allows anyone to generate an AI agent of themselves or of an avatar or of anything, right? And basically, and to give that, call it an avatar, call it a character, or call it a photo, whatever it is, to give it intelligence, right? And that's a platform that people are swarming to right now, because the thing about Metaverse is it's actually, AI is a great way to explain how Metaverse could happen, because everyone's hungry for it, right? When people want AI, they want to use it, they want to touch it, they want to create it for themselves, they want it to be fun and entertaining. And things like virtuals have tapped into that, because everyone wants to have an AI agent that has a real technology and a real intelligence underneath it. And they don't want to have to know how to program to do it. With virtuals, you just literally log on, generate an avatar, boom, 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 boom. It's got a tech stack underneath that gives it intelligence, and you're away, right? So this is the kind of thing that needs to happen in terms of technologies. This kind of thing is starting to happen, and I think that's what you'll see. That'll just be one. There'll be another one. There'll be another one, and because they're all decentralized, they can all cross pollinate. So I think you'll see lots of tech startups doing this what you call AI agent, decentralized AI agent approach to things. And I honestly think that the thing that's going to really join the dots here is entertainment and social networking. Because once social networks start to be powered by this AI agent approach with decentralized, then everyone starts to do it. And when everyone starts to do it, then the businesses will follow. I think that's a really important part of this, is the social and entertainment equation, because that's the masses, right? So I think that's just starting to happen now. And, obviously the internet was like that as well, right? The internet, when it first began, was very corporate, very banks and finance and insurance companies. And then suddenly social networking, Web 2.0, everyone jumped in, right? And then it became exploded, right? So I see the same thing happening with Metaverse, and I see the same thing. I think AI, blockchain, they're the two things that will make it happen. Yeah.
You get to some critical point. So obviously Farmville was just a boring little game, but once it took over social media, if everyone on Facebook was playing Farmville at some period in time, so you get to a critical mass where no one's playing it, then a few people playing it, then everyone's playing it. What I'm more thinking of is the juncture where you can take part of the outside world, so for example, my face, my personality, put it into the game and make it run around, but then for a normal person playing a normal game that they used to play on their Xbox or their PlayStation or whatever, that game doesn't come back out into the real world. But it sounds like you've created something that can come back out in the real world, because while my digital twin is running around in the game, it can be collecting coins and things that can actually be used in the real world.
Yeah, definitely.
For me, like winning points on a game, and then I turn the game off and the points disappear. But you're actually making a thing where I can get some real coins. I can go out and buy myself a pair of sunglasses, for example.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think that, again, the real world integration is so important here. Now, augmented reality is the simplest. We've all got phone, right? So we all have the device already, right? So it's not waiting for people to buy sunglasses or virtual headsets. Everyone has a phone. AR is the biggest thing. I mean, has it really happened? Pokemon Go was probably the only game that really showed the potential of augmented reality to engage a huge global community in a treasure hunt, right? But then it kind of, obviously those games it had its moment. Nothing really followed. Why? It's an interesting question. Why didn't people go, that's a winner, let's do that? It's because it's so hard to do. That's the problem, right? And you've got to get it Pokemon Go was not blockchain driven. It was just a game, right? But it showed that people are willing to do it. So what we've tried to do with Dream Channel is try and create a AR application that's decentralized, that allows you to basically, or your avatar, to drop tokens in the real world, right, at different locations that open. And if people collect those tokens, they open up a little doorway, which is the doorway to your Metaverse channel, which is actually in the Metaverse. So essentially what we're doing is we're creating, I call it the wormhole transit system. So basically, yeah, I know, it's crazy, right? The wormhole transit system, it connects a real world location to your Metaverse location. And basically it allows people to connect the dots, right? Now, the applications here are things like, it could be a company doing a treasure hunt, like Levi's doing like a jeans hunt or something. You collect tokens. If you get enough of them, you get the pair of jeans, right? But it could be things like remember all the bubblegum cards you used to collect the football players, all that kind of stuff. So we're already chatting with some of the football clubs about dropping tokens around football grounds, right? And then you can collect the tokens, get the players, right? And the players are then connected to these, so it's a gamifying the real world is the real key, because that's where we are, it's where we live, and most of our time is actually spent doing, there. And that means that the game that we're playing on our console and this is connected. So that's the model that it's really important part of the equation, is it connecting the real world with the virtual world, and actually doing it in a way that makes sense for a game. And the game that I'm talking about here is really the game of you. How do I promote myself? I'm a DJ. I'm going to drop tokens around my next gig location. People are going to pick them up. They get the set, right? Okay, and that's kind of how a DJ would use it, right? Rock stars. You can see all these different people using them, sports stars in different ways. So the game is kind of more, this is how it works, but you can use it however you like, right? So that's how, and because it's decentralized, and because it's blockchain driven, it can go anywhere. It has no limits, right? So these are the sort of essential points in getting this thing working. Yeah.
I'm having flashbacks to the Matrix movie, right? Where, they're running around inside of this world, and then pick up the phone and can jump in between like the little portals. And
it's you know what? Movies are the biggest influences on what we're doing today. I mean, my influences were The Matrix, Blade Runner. These films depicted. I mean, Blade Runner is a bunch of AIs, right, running around killing people, right? The Matrix was brilliant in how it actually, created this parallel universe that you can connect to via phones. I mean, this is this type of model that really the metaverse is modeling itself on, and I think these visionaries that created these films created a vision of the future that you could kind of believe, right? And that's what we're doing now, is we actually now have the ability to do that. So I mean, there's a big in Dream Channel has a very theatrical approach. There's a story about why it exists. There's chapters in how it moves forward. You don't have to engage with any of that. It doesn't matter if you don't even know, but there's a narrative to why it's there and everything. So if people care to look, what is this place? Why does it exist? You can look into the sort of the realms of the websites and find out the story about why it's there, and that kind of gives people a gamified kind of like vibe about the whole thing. So, which can be a bit dark, because that's science fiction. So, but that doesn't stop someone else from creating their own template of the same thing, and it's totally different. It could be a kid's world, it could be whatever, right? So then they can connect and go from one to the other. Yeah, so that's the kind of the general gist of all that. Yeah.
Love it. It sounds
Yeah.
very interesting. How do we find this, and how do we start using it?
Sure.
Where can we play a demo?
Yeah, sure. So right now on the App Store, there is a early demo of how the scanning your face, creating an avatar, fighting another avatar in AR, and then dropping tokens in locations that connect to your space. That I guess that MVP is there. So if you look for Dream Channel, I think Dream Channel AR on the App Store. That I'll send you a link. That's where you can just download it and just see a little kind of snapshot of how that's going to work. It needs a lot more before it's the whole vision of what I'm saying, but at least it's there and you can see how it works. You can play with it, right? So that's that. Dream Channel, the platform itself that I've been describing, we've been building it under stealth mode for about 2 years now, as in this final AI version. We're going to release it in this very interesting way in a game. I don't know if you've ever heard of an alternate reality game. It's where you release bits of the game before the main game is released so people can start playing with it, right? So that's what a lot of big game titles do. So we're going to start releasing elements of that, which includes there's a 3-part, 3 times 40-minute episodes of the narrative. That's finished. They're going to be released so you can watch the episodes of why this place exists, get into the story, get into the idea, and use the app at the same time. All these websites about the corporation behind it, you can read all that sort of thing, and then you'll be able to actually go into this first zone of the the multi-channel Dream Channel, and go on an AI date. That's going to be the beginning. So
Love it.
AI dating is actually the beginning of this whole thing, because it sounds terrible. Dating and fighting are the 2 things we're going to do first, right? And the reason why is because it is easier to craft the AI context for each of those. Training a fighter, okay, he starts with karate, he fights 4 or 5 fights and loses to a boxer because the boxer's got big hits, right? got to get to boxing moves. So it learned teaching a fighter to fight, using AI is an easier equation than it just running around doing whatever. Dating, same thing. I create an AI with a particular personality. It finds another one that is a match potentially, and they go on a date. They go into a little environment and they walk around. They hold hands. They stand on balconies, look at the view, and all that kind of thing. And they might even kiss. You don't know, right? So, and you can see a video of it. So it's not really a date. It's watching your AI go on a date, and it's an experiment to see what it might do. That's the beginning. We're actually I'd say in the process that's the beginning, and you'll be able to do that by probably February. The proper dating and fighting. The fighting you can do, but I want to release them together. And then the other part to it, which is very interesting, is which we haven't really touched on too much, is the Gaze coin payment system. We've already built that tech stack, and we've actually got a Gaze Metaverse, if you like, is multi-platform. I can send you a link to that as well. You can explore it. It's kind of set in this underworld, right? So it's a bit sort of red light in the look of it and everything, but there's no red light content there. But we'll cruise around and you can go into VR mode, and what it does is you get rewarded in coins for what you engage with for the time engaged. Right? That's what Gaze coin is all about. So it's a payment system. So this whole thing that I've been explaining is driven by the Gaze payment system, okay? Which basically, without monetization, there really isn't anything. There's no ROI. Why are we doing this? How do we get the models of I pay $10 to join a game and then that's it. That model is kind of passé. The new model is freemium. I'll walk into a game world, I'll walk into an environment for free. I walk around. I get rewarded in 100 coins for turning up. I use those 100 coins by looking at that, engaging with this, and then I run out. Okay, and then running out, I buy some more to go back and do that one thing that I really like. So, but Gaze is all based around the idea of consumption. I consumed the 100 coins by doing these things, and I consumed them on these various items, right? So that creates an incredible payment system mechanic where we can reward the consumer for engaging. We can take money from an advertiser for that engagement, right? And we can even charge a premium for engagement depending on what the content is. And it's all based around what the user did, not about what they might have done or didn't go to or whatever. So Gazecoin was invented to solve monetization in the metaverse, but it was a little bit ahead of its time. We kind of did that first, and now we have to build the environment, show how it's used. Yeah.
Johnny, you've always been ahead of your time, mate. So can I ask you 3 questions in rapid fire? So when you first got into Bitcoin, what price was Bitcoin roughly?
Oh dear, this is terrible. It was about $50. Okay. And basically I looked at it and I thought, oh, wow. I saw predictions of it going to 100 grand, things like that. And I was like, I actually saw that. And one of the big banks said that. And I didn't buy any. And I remember it went to $100, and then it went up from $100 to $300. And I was and around the time of my conference, which was 2014, it was going between $300 and $1,000 back and forth. Okay. And that was based primarily on the Chinese adoption.
When you first discovered Bitcoin,
yeah,
right. Not when you bought it. When you first discovered Bitcoin, it was like $50. When you discovered Ethereum, what was Ethereum selling for?
Ethereum was less than $10. It was about $5, I think, at the time, and it might have even been less than that. But
the people at home are doing the math now. Like, if I was best friends with Johnny, and I just followed Johnny around, I could have got in at $50. I could have got in at $10.
Yeah, could have.
So
definitely.
the next question, the third question is, how much is the Gaze coin right now?
Okay, so Gaze basically it's not, well, technically it's not worth anything because it's not on the market at the moment, right? So technically it's not worth anything. It's just been sitting there while we've been building these things.
Yeah,
I think we're about to release it. We're going to release it in a new phase of the token. It's going to be released as AI Gaze because we're integrating the AI. So it records what you look at rather than just looking at it, and then builds things back to you based on an AI. Mm-hmm. So I see that token. It's not many of them. There's only 29 million. So it's a very Bitcoin orientated business model. You hold the coin and earn from the things that other coins that are using it. I see that coin it'll list probably at about 50 cents, and I see it going to quite a big, I see it being like $100, like within a year. So
Okay.
yeah.
So aside from what you're doing and the things you create, and I think you're bloody amazing, mate, because most people I know, they're either creative, like they're filmmakers, or they're sort of mathematical, scientific, Bachelor of Economics. You got both sides of the brain happening at once. But as Kevin said, you're also a very early adopter. So anybody who's listening can go, if I was following Johnny around, I could have bought Bitcoin for $50. I could have bought Ethereum for $10. I can now buy Gaze coin for 50 cents.
Yeah.
And based on your first two answers and where we know those prices have ended up now, we could be creating millionaires for anybody who's listening right now.
I honestly think that's true. I think the technology, Gazecoin was so far ahead of its time that it was inventing a payment system for a metaverse that didn't even exist yet, right? So it was that. So it's just been sitting there waiting for these things to happen, right? So it's sitting at the gates, going like, "Let's go," and so all that needs to happen for Gazecoin to take off, and it's patented as well. It's a patented US patent and an Australian patent technology. So all that needs to happen is any of the things I've been talking about in Dream Channel to start happening. Gaze will be the thing that'll be used for it. These things will have their own tokens, but Gaze is the technology, right? It's like Bitcoin. It sits there. People own it because it goes up because everything else is working, right? I can see Gaze being that token, and I can see it doing very well. So yes, definitely. If anything I'm talking about in the metaverse starts happening, Gaze will go up exponentially. So that's yeah. It's like Ethereum. Back in 2014, it had all that potential, and all it needed to happen was developers started to use it. Away it went. So definitely.
Yeah, and from what I can understand, it seems like once you sign up for your platform, you don't have to go there and watch ads. Your AI can do that for you and generate Gazecoin, correct?
That's correct. Yes. So basically, your AI runs around, looks at ads, looks at everything, and comes back to you with various things. And what you do or don't engage. This is the AI gaze now, right? What you do or don't engage with, based on what it sends you, is basically lets the AI learn about what you like, right? And so it comes back with rewards. Yeah. It says, hey, I've just got these coins. Yeah.
You don't even need to spend all your waking hours watching all these content pieces.
No, you don't have to do anything.
And the AI go out and do that, correct?
That's correct. The AI is your AI. Your AI gaze is now happening. So this is my real gaze, and my AI gaze is my other gaze that's just generating all these things, which is interesting, right? Because imagine that not just earning you gaze coins from rewards, but imagine that in all kinds of other scenarios, right? Where basically the extension of of who you are is now being run around, and AI is running around doing that, and you're earning, and your purchasing power as a person is exponential because you have this other thing making it happen for you when you're not there. So this is the power of gaze.
While you sleep. My favorite way to make money.
Dream Channel, make money in your sleep. That's the whole ethos. So you're getting it now, right? It's all coming together. There you go. So I really, and you're right. That's why the most valuable thing we've talked about today is Gazecoin, because it is the reason why any of this can happen, right? So, it's behind it all, right? The game's the game, the AI is the AI. These are all fun things. It runs around, goes on dates, does all this stuff. But in the end, it all comes down to what did it look at, what did it engage with, and what did the creator like about that, which then makes the purchase, the ROI start to work. The ROI in the game, the ROI in the ad, the ROI in the content creator, it all happens from that. So I'm glad we got to this point, because it's kind of the most important part of the whole thing. So
sounds amazing. I can't wait to sign up. I want to sign up as soon as possible. So I'll be downloading the app. Jeremy probably will be as well. We're very excited about it. And then one technical question: what is the underlying technology for the Gaze coin? Are you using Sol, Ethereum? Is it its own standalone block? Is it, modeled off of any specific technology?
Yeah, so basically it's its own. So it's Ethereum based. So we built the whole platform based on the Ethereum blockchain, and then we started going about building our own layer 2, because at the time there wasn't one that was robust enough. So then we've stopped doing the layer 2 part. We're going to use a scaling solution. We're not sure which one just yet. It'll be able to be used by on multiple chains, but it's an Ethereum system at the moment. Look, this was done before Solana was around. We started building it. We're looking now at doing a bit of a rebuild using Solana, because what is essential for this is the microtransaction model. We can't have it slow. We can't have it like it all stalling, because in one journey in a virtual world, I'm making hundreds of transactions. I looked at that ad. I looked at that content. I looked at that person. I looked at that product. Right, they're all transactions, all separately happening, all at the same time. So Solana, I think, is the best model, best blockchain right now for microtransactions, and the users are swarming to it. They really like it. It's easy, right? So we're going to probably do a rebuild on Solana, and that solves having the need to have a scaling solution on top, right? Which just creates more complexity. So I think Ethereum's in an interesting space right now, because they rely on the scaling solutions to get for speed. And I think if Ethereum can get themselves into Ethereum, the next version of Ethereum won't need a scaling solution if they can pull it off. So the scaling solutions are in a bit of trouble there. We're trying to work out where they're going to go if that happens. But yeah, we have a tech stack based on Ethereum at the moment, and we use IPFS for the content. So basically, you generate a video, the video generates a token goes into your wallet. Wherever that video goes, it generates tokens for you, blah, blah, blah. So that's how that works. So that was built years ago. We built that like 5 years ago. So we've been sort of waiting for people to care. Had to wait for the NFT wave to come and go. Now there's the meme coin wave. These things are what everyone wants, what everyone cares about. And meanwhile, we're going metaverse. So hopefully AI makes that happen. So yeah.
And Jeremy, for our listeners, can you tell everyone about Ethereum and Sol as a platform and how they're different, and why, a lot of our listeners may not be aware of those terms?
Mate, I'm not the tech guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can handle it then.
my view is very, very basic. I sort of look back in the very early days of computing. We had modems back in the 1980s. But if you had a Mac, the Mac could only talk to other Macs across the phone line. If you had a PC, the PC could only talk to other PCs. There was no interactivity across different chains. And so now, obviously, we're on the internet, and it doesn't matter whether you're running Macs or PCs or Unix or Linux or whatever. We can all talk to each other because of this wonderful translation system inside the internet that I don't understand, but some other people do. And right now, like Bitcoin's running on its own network, Ethereum's running on its own network. But then again, 90% of the coins that are out there are running on Ethereum. And we're only just starting to see a few running on Polygon and a few running on Solana and things like that. That's my understanding. I'm not the tech dude.
No, exactly. And, just to touch on that, Ethereum was kind of one of the first platforms to made it easy to launch coins. They kind of came into the scaling problem, and Solana came around to solve that solution. Now, all the meme coins you can go buy either, there's numerous different types of platforms, but you may hear a lot of these terms being thrown around. And Jeremy currently, he has his boss on his lap, his Boston Terrier here.
No, right.
Who's watching.
That's what you were looking at. You didn't even want to ask me a question. You just wanted to see the puppy.
Well, guys, just so you know, this iPad I'm on is about to run out of batteries, because my Boston Terriers, my kids were using it to play games this morning without me knowing. I did charge it up and then found it going, what are you guys doing? So if I drop out, that's why. So yeah.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up here pretty quickly. Johnny, we really appreciate your time. Besides bringing the future today, what do you like to do in your free time? What do you love to hear a little bit more about, what else you like doing?
Sure. I'm a really keen snowboarder. I was a really good skier when I was at university. I came third in the university, medal thing and in varsity and all that sort of stuff. And I remember that, and I was really keen. And then I went to snowboarding, and because everyone did, and but I've never been as good a snowboarder as I was a skier, because I got into it too late. You get good when you're sort of 13, 14, 15. That's when you have no fear, and I was past that when I joined snowboarding. But I am still a keen snowboarder, and skis have changed now because they're much longer, shorter, and so I'm a very big powder hound. That's a big part of who I am. I'm also very into sports. So, I'm not just one of these alternative, blockchain nerds. I'm actually very into sports, NFL. You know, I follow the San Francisco 49ers very closely. They can't quite get a Super Bowl, and it's really killing me. But you know, I'm a very keen fan of that. So I'm big into sports as well. And the other big passion of mine is film. I go to the Cannes Film Festival every year because the best, most edgy films you ever see come out there and make the final cut. Most of those that win never get distributed because they're too out there and too edgy. So I've got a very huge film background, having done directing at university, and the craft of the film formula I know very well. And I've been applying those to various those that they all come from Shakespearean formulas, just so you know. So I've been applying those formulas to what I'm doing now, and interestingly, no, to the metaverse. So yeah, I'd say that I sit in that little kind of sort of position between sports, you know, nerdville being like blockchain, and film. That's kind of me. So yeah,
Fantastic. So we've probably got like two bars left on your battery.
yeah.
So just again, it's Dream Channel AR is the app that we want to find.
Yeah, Dream Channel AR is on the App Store. It's a bit underwhelming, but you can see how it's going, right? And you see the it's a beginning, right? It does work. And then
Bitcoin was underwhelming 10 years ago,
yeah,
but you were still in there. So
yeah.
we're going to give you a pass on it's not perfect,
Yeah.
But it is getting there.
It's the beginning.
We can also see a demo. There's a website where we can see a demo.
Yeah, if you go to dreamchannel.live, right? Go to dreamchannel.live and it has the whole vibe of what we're trying to do. That's probably the best place to go. You can see the spinning worlds that basically that Gazecoin works in, and that the Dream Channel world's all about. You can see all about the game, the avatars, the AI, and all that sort of stuff. It's all very well explained there in a very sort of film blockchain way. So dreamchannel.live would be the best place to go to check it out. Also, we're going to send a newsletter out pretty soon to everybody about where the Gazecoin relaunch is coming from and how that's going to work.
Yeah.
And so that would be the place to kind of like subscribe to it, so you can get on the newsletter. And yeah, so that's probably the place, the destination right now to just get the whole vision and as it rolls out. But yeah, it's a very exciting time for us because we've got this Dream Channel game world, the Gazecoin relaunch. The two things are going to come together. And yeah, looking forward to having anyone out there involved, because I think the more feedback we can get on it and the more engagement, the better it's going to go.
So right now, if I go to dreamchannel.live, I can join the newsletter. Can I also join the waiting list to get some Gazecoins? Because obviously, there we go. He's disappeared. Gazecoin is based on Johnny's trajectory with his other early picks. I think Gazecoin is going to be a huge thing. So I won't get the answer to that question. We'll have to find out ourselves. We're going to dreamchannel.live.
Sign up for the newsletter, I guess.
Yeah. Fantastic. And we had about 12 more questions for Johnny, but that's okay.
What a great guest. What an amazing person. And really, you could really hear the excitement and passion in his voice as he's talking about bringing this to the world. So what an honor it was to chat with him there for a little bit.
Yeah, and it was so random. I was at the Oz CryptoCon, and there's like all of the stalls and all the things going on. There's 10,000 people wandering around, and there was a little lounge where you could go in if you wanted to meet someone, because they had like a little dating app built into the site, and say, I want to meet someone who's a blockchain lawyer, or I want to meet a game creator, or I want to meet this person. And I was just hanging out in the lounge because it was more quiet than all the hustle and bustle and the games and things going on. And I wasn't actually meeting anyone, but Johnny had clearly made an appointment to meet someone who is a game developer that he didn't know what they looked like. He just knew their name. And he walked up to me and said, hey, are you Simon? And I'm like, well, no, I'm not. But I'll still talk to you. So we had this chat. And it was like amazing. Like all the stuff that he was saying to me, I was like, oh my God, like this is incredible. And we had like this 20-minute conversation because the other guy didn't show up.
Love it. Oh, he's back.
Johnny's back. But he's on mute.
Johnny, you're on mute.
You're on mute, buddy. And he's trying to figure it out. He's the technology.
Anyway. Very mysterious. Guy. I love him. Yeah, very mysterious. I know we're running out of time here, but Jeremy?
I'm just always impressed by someone who's got two brains. Like you don't often meet an accountant who paints, or a programmer who also creates film and that sort of stuff. So yeah, I think Johnny's an amazing guy, and got a lot to share. So, and we're just trying to find out, how do we actually get on the list for the gaze coins? Is that on dreamchannel.ai?
Yeah, so I'll basically what I'll do is I'll put a little link on there about how we can do that.
Yep.
To be honest, up to now I haven't really been pushing that. I've been trying to get the whole platform working and all the rest, and then push to that. But look, if there's from this very discussion today, I can really see that yeah, it is. I like your sort of analogy with where Ethereum was at when I first discovered it, and now the comparison with where this is at. So I think it's a good time to get on the list, and I think it's a good time for me to push that, which I haven't actually been doing up until now. So yeah, it's good timing. Yeah.
Always follow Johnny. He looks like he's 10 years ahead of other people. So you want to get where he is and find out where he's going.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
All right.
Kev, do you want to wrap up that?
Yep, absolutely. Johnny and Jeremy, thank you so much for your time today. All the listeners, keep listening to the Trillionaire Crypto Club, where we give you the best advice, news, and trending information about how to survive in today's post-crypto world. Johnny, thank you so much for your time today. Any parting thoughts for our listeners?
No, I just think that just know that the beginning of the AI crypto wave is just beginning. It's in its infancy, and it's going to expand infinitely. There'll be peaks and troughs as this world starts to evolve. Stay in it. It's a long game. Don't sell.
Yeah.
Just buy.
That's right. And I actually exactly right. I had a conversation with one of my friends earlier who was like, "Oh, you told me to invest in Bitcoin in 2015." I'm like, "You still should. Just get in now because there'll be $1 million at some point. Might be 5 years, might be next year, might be 10 years." And they're like, "Well, it seems too volatile." And I'm like, "Bro, that's exactly what you said in 2015. Like,
Exactly.
just get in.
You got to get
Like
into it.
you won't get 1,000% return. You'll get a 10%, a 100% return, but just buy in. Like it's the beginning. As Jeremy always says, once the banks are starting to come in, once these countries are starting to come in, they're just going to keep going. And yes, there's risk. You shouldn't put all your money in, as Jeremy always says. Put 10% of your investment in crypto, but just play the game, because not only is it fun. Bitcoin is up 5% today. It was up another 20% in the last, month and a half. There's a lot more where it will go. So,
Yeah.
with that in mind, gentlemen, thank you for your time today. Johnny, a pleasure as always. Jeremy, thank you again for putting this together. And to all of our listeners, catch us on the next version of the podcast coming out in probably a week.
All right. See you guys. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. See you.
Hey, Johnny. Okay.